Well, Brett Favre said in a recent interview that he believes sports need to refocus on the game itself and not on politics. The Hall of Fame quarterback said, quote, "I want to watch all the important parts of the game, not what's going on outside of the game. And I think the general fan feels the same way. I can't tell you how many people have said to me, I don't watch anymore. It's not about the game anymore." And I tend to agree. So, Shannon, what is your reaction to what Favre said here?
Nothing really. Typical white conservative male that's stuck in his own little world that doesn't give a damn about anything that doesn't impact him. You would think Brett Favre, born and raised in Kill, Mississippi, does any place in America have any more racist history than Mississippi? But Brett Favre is unaware. You see what they've done, Skip, if it's an issue, they've made it political. Damn politics, right and wrong. Can you see that, Brett Favre? Right, wrong. Take politics out of it. Because that's what they've done. They've turned it into an issue. Oh, it's politics, it's politics. For the longest time, white America and black America, we've succumbed to it also. If we made money, if we were well off, we would say, damn, about the other blacks that got left behind, that's undereducated, underemployed, underhealth cared for, that face racism that we per se might, because we're athletes, because we're prominent figures, might not see. Okay, just let it go. Yep. But now today's athlete says, hell no. That's not good enough. You can't pay me enough. LeBron James said, you can't pay me enough money to shut up. These other athletes say, you can't pay me enough not to speak out when I see it. Politics aside, it ain't about politics. It's about right and wrong. And this is what I'm starting to see. He didn't say he didn't criticize J.J. Watt when he raised that money for Hurricane Harvey. He didn't say a damn thing. But see, what we're starting to see, America, is that if it doesn't impact white America don't give a damn about it. Because they didn't care anything about the crack epidemic like they care about the opioid epidemic. Because the opioid epidemic hit the Rust Belt, hit them. Long as it doesn't affect them, politics, politics, politics. Man, stop. Brett Favre, you know you full of it. And if I was seeing my telling me full of
it. So, because this is still America, and I still believe it's the greatest country in the world, he has a right to say these things publicly, just as you just had the right to respond.
Yes.
Okay? I'm on your side with this, but if he wants to talk about this, it's hard for me to refute what he said. I can't tell you how many people have said to me, I don't watch anymore.
White people?
It's not about the game anymore.
White people? How many black people you think said that to him?
Well, it's a great question because I'm not sure what his circle of friends
I know.
Okay.
But see, here's the thing, Skip. If you say, I got black friends, and you can't empathize with what the plight that they're going through right now, you don't have black friends. You know black people. There's a difference between the two.
That is true.
See, that's what we're starting to see when they speak out. The Brian Urlachers and all these others talking about, I got black friends. Yeah. No, you know black people because you lack empathy. You see what they're going through. You see what's happening, and you pretend because it's political.
Okay, so this past year has been very difficult to try to correlate what he's saying to TV ratings. Like, are they diminishing because of the protesting or whatever you want to call Black Lives Matter, whatever you want to call it? It's hard to say because we're still in the throes of a pandemic as we speak.
Correct.
I'd like to see that the sun's starting to shine, but I'm not sure yet.
Yes.
But the point is, ratings are down in every entertainment industry across the board. So it's hard to say that Brett's right, the Super Bowl ratings, well, they were the worst just TV metric ratings in 52 years for the Super Bowl. But if we just do the total viewership, it was the worst in 15 years since 2006. We're in a pandemic. So does that disqualify that kind of correlation?
And maybe people weren't able to congregate, Skip. You know, Super Bowl parties, you may, we get 10, 15, 50, 100 people, Skip.
Totally
we had the party, so now, you know, people are maybe, and like you said, we're in the middle of a pandemic. People have been shut up, been closed in. Skip, the last thing I want to do if I'm coming out of a pandemic is be in the house and watching something. I'm trying to get out. I've been shut up for a year.
I hear you. So, look, if it got to the point where LeBron James couldn't earn a living anymore because he was so outspoken on all the matters we just talked about, would he think twice about it? Maybe he would, but he's shown he still makes just as much money on the basketball court and off it, and is as outspoken as any star athlete who's ever come down the pipe.
Especially the last 20 years.
Last 20 years. But he's so beyond Jordan in that regard that it's either laughable or sad that he's so beyond Michael. But he's doing just fine. And for me, what this boils down to is if you're of Brett's mentality, and I'm not going to condemn it, it's just the way he is. Okay. But if you're of his mentality and you don't like what the athletes are saying, then you say, shut up and dribble or shut up and block and tackle. Now, if you liked what they were saying because it lined up with your political views, then you'd probably be applauding them.
Of course.
Okay, but right now, none of this lines up with his life view, his worldview.
And the people and he loves mentioning the people that's in his corner. Well, I don't watch anymore because of this, this, and this. So he wanted to make sure he got that out there, but it'd been very interesting to see. Well, Brett, how many of those people you talk to were black that say they don't watch football anymore because it's become too political? Because I don't look at it as politics. I look at it as being right and wrong. I see something right. Skip, it's what we see with the Asian. It ain't no politics. It's right and wrong. That shouldn't be happening. They shouldn't have to go through this in America. But I guarantee you, if the majority, if this was happening to them, when did they ever stop the white hate?
Good question.
When are we going to talk about Jackie Robinson? I got some more points I want to make. Because that's the thing that people don't get, is that what minorities have had to go through, white America has never had to face. So they don't understand the plight that what we're talking about, that what we see with the Asian brother, what we see with other minorities going through. They never had to experience that at the hands of the majority because they've always been the majority. And so for the longest time, they tried to pacify you with money. Well, Shannon, you on FS1. You play the NFL. Why you care about some kid in rural Mississippi? Why you care about what's going on in New York or the inner cities of Detroit, Chicago? You making it, bro. Just shut up and just do your job. No. Because guess what? What blacks are starting to see, Skip, hold on. I'm a citizen. I pay taxes, so I can't have no opinion. I pay taxes. Shouldn't I have a say where the money goes and how I think it should be distributed?
So Brett Favre's concluding remarks were about Colin Kaepernick kneeling, and he said it ultimately created more turmoil than good. And he went on to say, it's really a shame that we've come to this. Something has to unify us. And I felt like the flag standing patriotically because blacks and whites and Hispanics have fought for this country and died for this country. It's too bad, said Brett Favre.
But when the blacks and Hispanics fought for the country overseas, and when they came back, why were they not treated the same as the white soldiers that fought overseas and came back? Why were they not heroes? Why were they not patriots?
Well, unfortunately, too many of the whites weren't treated as heroes either, but go ahead.
No, I'm talking about Vietnam. Vietnam is a different war. But I'm talking about World War I, World War II, all the other wars, because they've had blacks that fought in every war. Go back from the Revolutionary War. If you want to go back even further, what war you've had blacks. But Skip, blacks couldn't wear their uniforms in public. They couldn't wear the uniforms in public. What Brett Favre doesn't know, let me give a little history lesson, Brett. Because before 1948, the military wasn't segregated. Okay? It was segregated. It wasn't integrated. So guess what? When the POWs got on, they got the first seat. They got to eat before the blacks. The blacks had to go to the back. They got to eat after the POWs. So how in the hell does a POW, a person that you caught fighting against you, get to eat before and sit in better seating than the people that's fighting with you? That's black. Bet you didn't know that, did you, Brett? You did know it, but you didn't care. Because you know why? Because it's you. And you want to stick together, but you know what's going on is wrong. That's all I see, Skip. You could say politics, okay, fine. Take Democrat, take Republican, Independent, or whatever you want to call it. Green Party, Tea Party. Right or wrong. If you see right, okay. But if you see wrong, speak against wrong.
So where Brett Favre loses me, in conclusion, I believe that superstars' platforms in all sports are among the most powerful in this world. And they are finally being used for the good to me.
Correct.
Because starting with Colin Kaepernick, this country has experienced some, I'll underline some, racial enlightenment that it had never experienced before. And I think some white people had their eyes and minds open.
Yes, some.
And it was more of a plus than a minus for me, from my point of view across the table from you. And it only happened because so many athletes, black and white, spoke out.
Right.
And it has a powerful effect because people, maybe right or wrongly, will listen to what athletes have to say.
Right.
And for the first time ever, athletes were taking stands on matters that mattered.
Yes. Yes.
Because for years they ducked all this because Republicans buy sneakers too, right?
Yeah, as Skip, he said, you know, the Colin Kaepernick, it divides us. We need something to unify us. You know what divides us more than anything? Racism. There's a saying that says, Skip, you can tell how great a country is by what it creates, but how bad it is by what it refuses to destroy.
Yeah.
Why is it so important for you to hate another man that's done absolutely nothing to you, just solely because of the complexion of their skin? Why is that so important for you to stand on that? We know how America was founded. Why? Why would Brett still stand behind that? He know it's wrong. He's from Mississippi.
I got it. So the little I've been around Brett and the many people I've talked to about Brett, I don't think he's a bad man.